The moment I realized my husband wasn't paranoid was the moment I knew I had underestimated him. My name is Elena Brooks, and for 12 years, I was married to a man who built his life on discipline, structure, and silence. Daniel Brooks didn't raise his voice. He didn't slam doors. He didn't demand loyalty. He assumed it. We lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, in a house that looked stable from the outside. White siding, trimmed hedges, a quiet street where neighbors waved but never asked questions. Daniel worked in financial compliance for a regional investment firm. I ran a boutique consulting business from home: branding, digital strategy, client management. On paper, we were a power couple. But power can rot quietly. The first crack wasn't an argument. It was distance. Daniel started watching me the way men watch numbers when they don't add up. Not accusing. Measuring. I noticed it when he stopped asking how my day was, and started listening instead. I was careless. Comfortable. Arrogant. I told myself I deserved more attention. More excitement. More validation than a man who came home at the same time every night and kissed me like a routine instead of a desire. That's how betrayal always begins. Not with hate, but with entitlement. The affair didn't start in a bedroom. It started in emails. His name was Marcus Hale, a private equity consultant I met through a client project. Confident. Attentive. Dangerous in the way men are when they ask the right questions and pretend to admire your intelligence. What I didn't know was that Daniel noticed the financial irregularities before he noticed the emotional ones. Joint accounts. Delayed transfers. Invoices paid twice. My business account routing money into a holding LLC I told him was for taxes. Daniel didn't confront me. He documented me. The night he discovered the affair, he wasn't spying. He was auditing. I didn't hear him come home early. I didn't hear the door close. I didn't hear anything, until the silence changed. Marcus's hand was still on my shoulder when I saw Daniel in the reflection of the hallway mirror. No shouting. No shock. Just a man watching the collapse of his own life in real time. The humiliation didn't come from being caught. It came from realizing how calm he was. Daniel didn't sleep that night. Neither did I, but for very different reasons. He sat at the kitchen table, reviewing documents, bank statements, business filings, email metadata. He wasn't grieving. He was deciding. I cried, begged, explained, lied again. That's when I realized my mistake. I hadn't just betrayed a husband. I had betrayed a man whose entire career revolved around compliance, forensic accounting, and legal exposure. By morning, he understood everything. The affair was real. The money was missing. And Marcus wasn't just a lover. He was a partner in a quiet embezzlement scheme using my business as a funnel. Daniel didn't threaten me. He simply said, "I'm going to let you believe you're winning." What terrified me most wasn't Daniel's anger. It was his control. The man I married didn't pace the room or punch walls. He didn't drink himself into oblivion or call friends to vent. He moved slower than usual, like every step had to pass through a filter first. He showered, dressed, went to work, as if nothing had happened. That silence pressed on my chest harder than any scream could have. I tried to provoke him. Confessions, apologies, even blame. I told him I felt neglected. I told him Marcus understood me. I told him it just happened. Daniel didn't respond. That's when fear crept in. I began noticing small changes. Passwords no longer worked. Joint calendar entries disappeared. Our shared cloud drive showed folders I couldn't open. He wasn't locking me out emotionally. He was compartmentalizing me legally. One night, I found a manila folder tucked inside his briefcase by accident. My name was typed cleanly on the label. Inside were printouts, bank statements highlighted in yellow, timestamps circled in red, email threads stapled together like evidence exhibits. That was the moment I understood. Daniel wasn't heartbroken anymore. He was done processing emotion. This wasn't a man planning revenge out of rage. This was a professional identifying exposure, liability, and outcome. I wasn't his wife anymore. I was a risk factor. And when a man like Daniel identifies a risk, he doesn't explode. He eliminates it. Quietly, completely, and within the law. I slept beside him every night after that, knowing I was sharing a bed with someone who had already walked away in his mind. The marriage was over. The consequences were just warming up. The revenge wasn't loud. It was procedural. Daniel hired a forensic accountant and a corporate attorney. Quietly. He separated our finances without alerting me. Filed legal notices. Documented every transaction tied to Marcus's firm. Then he waited. I thought I was safe. I thought the affair was hidden. I thought the money was gone. What I didn't know was that Daniel had restructured ownership of our shared assets while I was distracted, using perfectly legal marital and business clauses I'd never bothered to read. By the time Marcus pushed me to go public, Daniel already had recorded evidence of financial conspiracy, signed emails implicating Marcus directly, a civil fraud case ready for filing. The trap was airtight. The lawsuits landed first. Then the account freezes. Then the subpoenas. Marcus vanished overnight. Clients pulled out. Investors walked. His firm collapsed under regulatory scrutiny. He didn't fight it. He ran. I didn't get arrested. Something worse happened. Daniel divorced me without hostility. No courtroom drama. No public scandal. Just papers. Just silence. Just finality. I lost the house. The business. The money. The illusion of control. Daniel walked away clean. The last thing he ever said to me was calm. Almost gentle. You didn't lose me when you cheated. You lost me when you thought I wouldn't notice. And that was the last day I ever had power over him.
If this story made you feel something, pain, anger, clarity, or strength, you're not alone. Stories like this are why Betrayal Nation exists. Please like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and write a comment below. We read every single one, and your voice matters here. Your support truly helps this channel grow, so if you haven't already, subscribe and help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Together, we're building a place where real stories are heard, truth is exposed, and justice finds its voice. This is Betrayal Nation. Thank you for being part of it.